One time not long ago there was a girl who had went off to college, and she was a lovely little girl. And when she returned home, she brought some of her college ideas with her. And maybe this morning some of you have some of your outside ideas with you. Maybe you've packed up the church a lot of your ideas. Well, get rid of them is the best thing I know to do. Then this girl, when the train stopped out front, she brought a little girl with her, one of those little snickle fritz time, you know, like the Elvis Presley type. And when she was standing there, you know, at the train, her mother was on the outside. An old woman standing there, all scarred up in her face, little stooped shoulders, little calico dress on, a little shawl over her shoulders, and this little snickle fritz that was with her. This other girl looked down and said, "Well, who is that miserable, ugly-looking old wretch?" Well, you know, it embarrassed the girl so much. She said, "I don't know." Because she was just so prissy and had so many whirly ideas in her head, and it was her own mother. When she got off the train, the little old mother ran over to throw her arms around. She said, "Oh, darling, God bless your little heart." And she turned her back and started walking away as if she didn't know her. She was embarrassed because her mother was so ugly. And it happened to be the conductor on that train knew the story. He walked around there and put his hands on that girl's shoulder and turned her around before that audience. Said, "Shame on you. Shame on you." Said, "I've seen the time that when your mother was 10 times as pretty as you are." Said I lived in the neighborhood. And said you was a little baby and you were upstairs in your crib and your mother was hanging clothes in the backyard. And said all of a sudden the furnace caught fire and the entire house was in a blaze. And when your little mother run along and knowed that you were in the upstairs up there, said they screamed and tried to grab her, but she jerked what she had off and run through those blazes up in the upstairs and pulled her clothes from her body and wrapped you in it. And here she come back to the blazes, packing you, and she fainted in the yard with you in her arms. And said she took what would have protected her and protected you. And said the reason you're pretty today, that's the reason she's ugly. And you mean to tell me you'd be ashamed of those scars on your mother? I think today, if Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free, there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. If Jesus was considered Beelzebub by this world, He was laughed and scoffed at and hung on a cross and made a shame for me. I'm more than happy to bear the reproach of His holiness. Yes, sir, call holy roller, whatever you want to call. Whatever remark you want to make, that doesn't stop it a bit. I'm only happy this morning that in my heart the resurrected Christ lives and reigns. I am one of His subjects. I trust that you are too.